Good morning. It's Chef Jeff. It's 9:08 a.m. Mountain Time. Um, I woke up early this morning doing some food preparation, and I had posted on my overnight oats. So I'm going to cover that in the beginning before I go into the keto and paleo diet trends that are basically embraced by people that want to lose weight. Tranquility in food prep. I figured I would cover this in the beginning before I start into the subject matter. I receive a lot of pleasure from preparing foods. It's interesting that a lot of people trying to transition to a whole food plant-based diet are frustrated by food prep because it takes so long. I use that time in order to, it clears my head. I like cutting fruits and vegetables. It's very tranquil to me. When I cut up foods, I know that the foods that I'm making are very healthy, and it pleases me greatly. It's one of my go-to feel-good activities. Some of you like walking or reading, or, well, I play the piano and I play the keyboard, so music is very relaxing to me, but so is cutting fruits and vegetables. I wish more people would appreciate taking the time out. Well, make sure you curl your fingers. I want to do a video on cutting foods, and I apologize for my lack of availability to do those videos, but maybe eventually I can do that as well. I'm working with a lot of people to do some videos, and we're going to put together some cooking videos. So tranquility in food. I was preparing some overnight oats. Wilma, thank you for joining. I have a lot of pleasure in preparing food. First off, I know that it's healthy. Second of all, it smells good. Third of all, I'm a chef and I like using my knife. So I get to cut food and I get to smell it and I get to taste it. And, you know, I do wear gloves, but it's on my hands and I really enjoy that. So it spurred my overnight oats post this morning. For those of you that haven't seen it, I do prepare overnight oats on a regular basis and I enjoy doing that very much. It's very delicious and it's extremely healthy. Yeah, Wilma, I absolutely want to do that. I'm working with a gentleman who's becoming a very close friend of mine, and we're going to do some videos together. And hopefully I could bring that to all of you so that you could see those videos as well. I apologize so much for my lack of availability. I wish I could do more videos. I wish I could do more. These impromptu videos are more of a knee-jerk reaction when I jump through a hoop of time that I feel I can get these out. And even though we're going to have a very low viewer audience this morning because it is early, hopefully many of you can watch it after the fact and you'll appreciate it. So I'll keep open Q&A going through the whole video. But one of my main concerns is weight loss. And people are so desperate to lose weight in a short amount of time. And I've always said that patience is a virtue, and patience is so important. We didn't get overweight overnight, so we shouldn't expect to lose weight rapidly and remain healthy. And it bothers me because when a lot of us look in the mirror, and you know, sometimes it's me too. And do you see this right here? I wear a CPAP machine at night. And if I do these videos in the morning, it leaves a mark where the mask sits. I'm okay with that. You know why? Because my CPAP machine saves my life. So this is not natural. This is occurring as a result of my CPAP mask having suction. And I'm okay to share that with all of you because you know what? I'm a human being and I'm a natural person and I'm a real guy and I need you to see my imperfections. So yeah, it's important. If you have sleep apnea, wear your mask. If you snore, if you thrash in your sleep, please go to the sleep center. I'll do a video on, I'm due for CPAP and sleep apnea. It's important that people get a hold of that. So my concern is weight loss in regards to the ketogenic diet, putting our bodies into a state of ketosis, and the paleo diet. And maybe let's knock off the paleo diet first. There's a lot of misscientific information about the paleo diet. When I go to Sprouts, there's a food chain here called Sprouts that is, well, there's a lot of Whole Foods, but there's a lot of garbage there too. But we buy a lot of organic fruits and vegetables from Sprouts, and they offer a lot of paleo chickens and bacon and paleo this and paleo that. Oh, I'm so happy, Wilma. That makes me very happy. No more snoring for me. Very, very happy. Um, when I am in line with somebody and they're checking out and they've got paleo chicken and it's labeled paleo, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the paleo diet, it means that it's a diet trend. For lack, I don't even remember the gentleman that came up with this because it's so ridiculous. Eat the way our ancestors ate. Well, you know what? Our ancestors were dead at 30. Why would we eat the way they ate in our current state right now? Why would we do that? We don't need to do that. There's also a huge misconception that they didn't eat grains and they didn't eat food. No, they absolutely did. Grains were available. Maize and corn has been around for thousands and thousands of years. So why would we want to eat the way cavemen ate in our current state when we want to live beyond 30? It just doesn't make any sense. The paleo diet basically encourages you to eat animals, increase saturated fats, increase your intake of cholesterol, and remove grains. No, it's a really bad idea. What was available to them is certainly available here now. They didn't have access to all these foods, and we have access to all of these foods. We know better. So the paleo diet is a huge thumbs down. It's a marketing ploy to get you to buy books and get you to buy paleo labeled products. Paleo is bad. It's really, really bad. It'll give you heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension. It's just not a good path to be on. And I don't believe that the paleo diet is even worthy of weight loss, because it's not. All they do is remove foods that you should be eating that are so healthy for you, because they claim that our ancestors never ate those foods, when in fact they absolutely did. It's scientifically proven. So with that said, let's move on to the ketogenic diet, because this is more broadly stroked. Putting our bodies into a state of ketosis means that we deplete our livers of glycogen, which are sugars. And once we go down to between 5 and 15% of glycogen stores in our livers, our body goes into a state of ketosis, where the body releases ketones into the blood. This is a biological response to starvation, essentially. Starvation might be a very harsh word to use, because there's a difference between fasting and starvation. But with that said, when ketones get released into our blood, the body is desperately seeking energy. It's desperately seeking calories. So if there's no glycogen, which our brains need, our brains are made up of predominantly fats. However, our brains are fueled by glycogen. Our brains need sugars, healthy sugars. So brain cloud is pretty common on low carbohydrate diets. The Atkins diet, very poor. Dr. Atkins died of end-stage atherosclerosis, which is cardiovascular disease. All of his arteries were clogged, and he died of a massive heart attack on his own protocol, and it's still extremely popular. Low-carb, high-fat diets are extremely bad, which I will move into the ketogenic diet. Yes, you will lose weight. The body goes into a state of ketosis where ketones release into the blood, and these ketones will go ahead into your fat stores and start using them for energy. Unfortunately, you end up with low energy. You become nutrient deficient. You will have brain cloud. You won't be able to function very well because your brain is depleted of nutrients and glycogen that's required to sustain normal brain function. It will exacerbate mental disorders, depression, anxiety. It's just a really bad idea. And incidentally, when I seem like I'm stuffed up, my CPAP machine causes nasal issues, and it causes, I don't know, for half the day, I get some schmutz, as my mother would say, in my nasal passages. So no, I'm not sick and I'm not backed up. It's just my CPAP that keeps me alive. So I made a list to cover the ketogenic issues. First off, serious muscle loss is possible on a ketogenic diet. Our muscles will start atrophying, because your diet is extremely high in fats. It's lower in protein. It's extremely void of carbohydrates. And there are very few nutrients that are in high protein foods. Now, I know there are vegan, plant-based versions of the ketogenic diet where you can go high fat, vegan and low carbohydrate. But why would you want to do that? In my previous videos and all of my posts, I state that fats are bad, including plant fats. I don't know why you'd want to do that to your cardiovascular system. Is losing 15 to 20 pounds 6 to 8 weeks before you go on vacation worthy of fitting in a smaller sized swimsuit, bikini, shorts, whatever makes you feel comfortable on vacation, to come back with type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease? It's just not worth it. In 2018, on a whole food plant-based diet, I was able to work with over 485 people for a total weight loss of 4,100 plus pounds. Not ketogenic, not paleo, whole foods, plant-based, low fats, high carb, high fiber diet. 2 tons of weight loss is a substantial amount of weight. And it reversed their diabetes, it reversed their hypertension, it reversed their high blood pressure, it reversed their cardiovascular disease, and they lost weight, and they feel good, and they're no longer sick. I think that's the best path. Also, the ketogenic diet puts stress on the kidneys. It could also potentially cause kidney stones. Very, very bad. You don't want to tax any of your organs, and the ketogenic diet absolutely unconditionally does that. Also, ketogenic diet results in low blood sugar, which is it puts diabetics at a risk of having hypoglycemia. If your blood sugar level goes below 20, you may or may not wake. You'll be glassy-eyed. You'll be your cognitive resources will be gone. And it's bad. People think that you had a stroke. You don't want to do that. Also, the ketogenic diet, considering you're removing a lot of foods that are high in fluids, you can become grossly dehydrated. Dehydration is very bad on your organs. It's very taxing on your kidneys. Not something you want to do. Females that go on the ketogenic diet, it will offset your hormonal balance, which means that your periods will become irregular. You could have either no period in a certain month, or you could have extensive blood flow, and you'll wonder why. It's because it adversely affects the estrogen and progesterone that's flowing through the female anatomy, and it's a bad idea. You don't want to mess with your hormones, especially if you're a female. Also, on the ketogenic diet, well, hopefully you're not adding salts, but low blood sodium levels will drop rapidly, and it's really, really bad. We don't want to reduce that down to a state of dehydration. That's a negative aspect. Also, the ketogenic diet in most cases will lead to high cholesterol and increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Very bad. High fat, whether it's plants or animal-based, is a really bad idea. Is it worth getting sick or increasing inflammation to fit in a smaller pant size or a bikini size because you want to shed pounds? I've always stated that a strong support structure is vital to success no matter what you're doing. If you're painting, if you're doing pottery, you want people to be able to participate and give you kudos for those. Wilma says, can having big dips be as harmful as the upward spikes? And Wilma, yes. And the reason why I say that is because it taxes our pancreas. I don't think a lot of these social media groups understand the fact that these yo-yo diets and all of these different protocols affect our organs. Our organs are vital for survival. If we do the yo-yo, our pancreas is either flooding our systems with insulin to control the glucose, or it's degrading its ability to do insulin release because of lack of glucose in our blood. That yo-yo, I've read a lot of studies that said that our metabolism has a memory, and I've had a hard time corroborating it, but there's some interesting studies that state the yo-yo diet principle means the body remembers, and our biology will go into a state of preservation. If you're calorically deprived, the body will slow the metabolism down. If you have an uptake of calories, the body will step up our metabolism in order to accommodate and burn the extra energy. If you do that enough times, the body gets confused. So consistency is the key. Don't yo-yo diet. I think that phrase was coined in the 70s. Wilma, what do you mean regarding low dips? If our diet is consistent, we shouldn't have a rise or fall in, well, first off, insulin levels from our pancreas, and we shouldn't have a rise or fall in blood glucose as long as our diet is on mark. If you're doing high fat one week and then low fat another week, yeah, our body is going to have adverse reactions to that. So it would be not a good idea. Consistency in the foods that we eat long-term makes the best impact for our long-term health. So it's really, really important to do that. Consistency with high fiber, high carbohydrate, low fats is really important. Now, regarding weight loss, we could take away carbohydrates from your diet and we can put you in a state of ketosis where ketones will be released into your blood and it'll burn fat. It will. Unfortunately, it's going to constrict your arterial walls, your endothelium, the cells that line your arteries. You do not want to tax them. They need to be elastic. When we have atherosclerosis, they harden. They don't have elasticity. Plaque will build up. And people don't realize that in the absence of cholesterol, which is on a whole food plant-based diet, that if your diet is in a ketogenic state, you have a high fat diet, your liver will create an excess of cholesterol. It will plaque your arteries. It will cause atherosclerosis in a certain percentage of the population. The only way that we would know that is if we had consistent, maybe every 3 to 6 month blood work. Let's see, Wilma. I'm thinking when I fasted, the blood glucose went low. Well, yeah, I discussed this with you. This is my concern with all of these groups that tell everybody to fast. If you suffer from hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, you don't want to fast. It's going to put you into a horrific state. You could go into a coma that you may or may not wake up from. It's bad. And then in order to recover from it, you're going to need to eat a very high glycemic, very fast reactive sugar, table sugar, agave nectar, an orange, rapidly, orange juice, fast. Otherwise, your blood glucose will drop so low that you'll go into a hypoglycemic coma. And you will suffer from severe brain damage and, potential organ failure, and you have to go to the ER. And it's just, that whole process isn't worth it. Fasting as a diabetic is 100% ill-advised. I do not advise anybody to fast that is suffering from type 1 or type 2 diabetes. What I'm noticing is a lot of you, not pointing any fingers, are exercising and fasting at the same time for rapid weight loss. Yeah, you're going to lose weight quickly. You're going to degrade the quality of your health, and that's very, very dangerous. I see people dying as a result of weight loss. You need to slow yourselves down, like I'm going to do right now. Take a deep breath. Know that your dietary protocol will lower your overall body mass index. Your weight will come down. Don't book a vacation 4 to 6 to 8 weeks out and fast and exercise and put yourself in a state of caloric deprivation because you're trying to lose weight because you want to either look or feel better on a vacation. People die every day as a result of that, and it's disturbing to me. Don't do it. Feel comfortable in your skin. Know that your internal health is improving at a rapid rate. Your internal health is going to increase faster than your outward appearance is going to present your internal health to be. So get healthy on the inside, let the outside adjust to it, and don't become impatient. Fasting and exercise, unless you're an elite athlete, and I know many that can do it, it's ill-advised. It's absolutely ill-advised. The whole point of fasting is not to lose weight. The point of fasting is to put our body into a state of healing. If you exercise, as I've stated in previous videos, your immune system becomes grossly taxed. You will not heal. The reason for that is that exercise stresses our ligaments, our tendons, our muscle fibers. A percentage of your immune system is going to go to try to compensate for your exercise. while it's trying to burn calories. It's trying to pull nutrients. It's trying to pull amino acids from different stores in your body to compensate for you exercising, all because you want to lose weight. If you're sick, you're not going to heal. It's going to degrade your quality of health. If you're an athlete, and I know guys that can fast, water fast for 70, 80 days, run marathons, work out, because they're in a state of health. Their cardiovascular system is not taxed. They're in a state of heightened health. So for those reasons, I would absolutely unconditionally state, do not exercise and fast at the same time. Those of you that want to lose weight, do it naturally. Those of you that also want to place a numerical value on where you personally, and on a point where, whoever's watching, you personally feel that your weight should be, who gave you that number? I did it. We all have done it. We all think we need to weigh a certain amount of pounds. Our dietary choices and our lifestyle activity will govern where biology wants our weight to be. So nature already has our perfect weight established for us. Don't use what you see in the mirror or the type of clothing or sizes that you want to purchase or comments that are social generated, meaning people around you, family, friends, social media. It's all fictitious. It doesn't exist. Those things are self-imposed goals. Don't think that you need to weigh 200 pounds or 120 pounds and you're racing and adjusting your diet to achieve that goal. Who gave you that knowledge? I'm going to question all of you. Who told you specifically what your ultimate body weight should be? You did, your mind did, your eyes did when you look in the mirror. I know overweight people that feel comfortable in their skins being overweight, and I know very, very thin people that are anorexic and bulimic that feel comfortable in their weight. It's a psychological game. So what I always recommend is that adhere to the lifestyle, the protocols, plant-based diet, 0 to no oil, 0 to no salts, no sugars, exercise regularly. If you're in a state of mental depression or anxiety, embrace meditation. Exercise, meditate, drink lots of fluids, stay hydrated, and don't monitor your body mass. It causes distress, and it causes unneeded distress because what you're doing is you're self-imposing a goal that biology doesn't even know about. You're giving yourself a weight goal, and you're going to force yourself there. Who says that 120 pounds or 200 pounds is your ideal body weight? There isn't. There's nothing that governs that outside of our own emotional response to how we look at ourselves in the mirror or how clothes feel. Let it naturally occur. Be very patient. Let it occur. Let it happen. My weight fluctuates 5 to 8 pounds every single week. I've lost 125 pounds and my weight still fluctuates. My weight will eventually reach a biological level where that is sustainable for my lifestyle choices and my dietary intake. That's our natural weight. It doesn't mean that I want to weigh a certain weight. I don't have a weight. I just want to feel comfortable and I want to be healthy. So let's take our health first and foremost, and don't try to put a number on you or a pant size or any size, any clothing size. Remove that off the equation. Let's get healthy first. Health, number one, and when we get healthy, our body weight will adjust all on its own. So I basically just wanted to cover the ketogenic diet, which is extremely bad. It falls in line with everything that I promote. Keep it active, keep your lifestyle active, keep your stress levels low, learn how to meditate, reach out to me. I've been doing it for several years now, very successfully. I could lower my pulse rate through meditation, and it takes practice, but you can get there too. I'm not controlling my weight. I'm wearing the same clothes, and some of them are baggy and some of them are not. I'm not going to go out and buy all new clothes, and I don't have a goal weight. My goal weight is my health weight. Maybe that's a good way to say it. I'm balancing my health weight, the weight of my health. And when that could be high, my weight will adjust on its own. And whatever nature puts me is fine. And I'm okay with that. So I'm becoming more comfortable in my own skin, even though I don't have a mustache anymore. I feel kind of naked. But anyway, thank you all for joining me this morning. I just wanted to cover some of those key points. I'm going to jump back in the house. I have overnight oats, ready for bets. I'll stay on as long as I can. If anybody has any questions, I'll respond to you in real time. It's early. It's an impromptu video. I only gave you 30 minutes head time. So, any questions? If not, those of you that are watching the video, post them below. It takes me a few hours to respond to some of your questions, but I do it. And in the previous video from yesterday, you will see that I did answer your questions. So, keep it carbed, keep it high fiber, keep it low fat, keep it low sodium, exercise every day, walk, get out of the house, get some sun, get your hormone D in, and we'll talk. If there's a subject matter that you'd like me to cover, feel free to comment below, direct message me, email me. Everything's in my table of contents. I'm very accessible to all of you. I'm wishing all of you the best of day. It's very cold today. It's in the teens again. Everything's frozen solid. I think I'm going to go free the hens out of their coop to get them a little bit of outside time. I hear them squawking, so I'm going to go give them some cuddles. I'm going to go inside, feed Bets, get her morning oats. And why the quick results with keto? Well, Alexander, that's a really good question. And thank you for letting me stay on. The ketogenic diet puts us in a state of ketosis where ketones are released into the blood. What it does is it's a biological response to our bodies where our metabolism can't find the sugar that it needs to burn energy. So what it does is it naturally goes into our fat stores. It starts burning fat for energy, which is, well, you would think of it as a good thing. Unfortunately, in order to do that, it requires a high-fat diet, which seems counterintuitive. We can burn fat without going into a state of ketosis. And too many of these social media sites, and I've had to block some friends. Well, I don't know if I want to call them friends, but they're promoting ketosis to everybody, and it's very detrimental. If you're a type 2 diabetic or a type 1 diabetic, you put yourself in a state of ketosis, you may not wake up in the morning. So it's extremely dangerous. The reason why ketogenic diets work is that fat becomes the #1 fuel source. So fat starts rapidly coming out of your fat stores. Unfortunately, you're also taking in fat in the form of cholesterol, saturated fats. And it's going to cause, it'll exacerbate type 2 diabetes. It'll push pre-diabetics into full-blown type 2 diabetics situations. And the lack of carbohydrates will give you brain cloud. And it will eventually, in some studies that I've read, it will cause Alzheimer's and some dementia issues. And it's just not worth it for the fact of weight loss. So it's a bad idea. Just be patient. I think everybody needs to be more patient. We didn't get overweight overnight, and we're not going to lose that weight overnight. So patience is a virtue. Excellent. Thank you, Alexandra. Just be patient. Eat your fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes. Stay well hydrated. Eat as many dark leafy greens as you possibly can every single day. If you're in a state of confusion, reach out to me directly. If you find that transitioning to this whole food lifestyle is confusing to you, reach out to me also. We could start up an email correspondence. We could schedule a phone call. And I could do future videos. So I wish everybody a very high plant, very low fat day. Stay motivated. Group hugs as always. Chef Jeff loves every single one of you unconditionally. Thank you for joining me on the video this morning. I'm going to jump back inside. Going to play with some food. Going to bring out my chef knife. I'm going to cut up some fruit and veggies and cook some grains. Prepare some food for some of our clients. So have a great day. Stay warm. Love you all. Have a super duper day. Let's see. I need a good response to those who don't understand about plant-based, maybe a bumper sticker. You know what? You could bring I had to use the word horse, but you could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Some people are not awoke to the latest science, and they are so accustomed to the hundreds of billions of dollars of marketing that instilled in our brains that we should eat certain foods at a certain time of day, and we need these to survive. It's rough. It's an uphill battle. But Alexandra, stay hard on the course. Stay positive. Don't try to be over aggressive, that I can be sometimes, to try to convert people. They will come around at their own pace. And if they see your own progress, stay very uplifted. Just try to sprinkle positivity through everything you do It's almost like you're walking through a forest and you're throwing rose petals over your shoulder, except maybe they're broccoli and leafy greens. So stay positive, Alexandra. Thank you for your comments this morning. You're so welcome. Show everybody your progress. Be upbeat, be very positive, and don't be critical of people that don't accept the lifestyles that we are embracing. That is my advice. So I will try to keep that in mind myself. Let's see, Brian, I made a mistake of following a low-carb diet for a few years. Taking a couple of years to start to change it. I hope it can. Okay. Brian, that's okay. You know, there's an influx in, we're trying to follow trends, and people are, I don't want to use the word monkeys, but it's monkey see, monkey do. If you see somebody doing something and they maybe have a positive result, you're gonna look at that. And I see my hens and my ducks. This is an interesting comparison to our human behavior, because I'll have two hens. One is eating over here, one is eating over there. If one hen seems to be enjoying what they're eating more than the other hen takes notice, and it will literally race over there, bump the other hen out of the way to eat what they're eating, whether it's good or bad. And I think that human behavior is exactly the same way. If we're at work and everyone's doing the keto diet and people are losing weight and we're overweight, we're going to go, hey, what are you doing? I want to do that too. You know, without understanding the science or the consequences behind some of those behaviors. So that's why I like living between a farm and our animals. I get to see the interactions of nature, and they do it too. We're no different than any other mammal on Earth. And it's interesting to me to be able to observe that behavior, and it helps me myself, because it helps me identify with some of the human behaviors that so many of us overcome, or, well, we succumb to them before we can overcome them. So, Brian, stay strong, man. You're going to go through a period of, social media calls it detoxification, but in reality, it's your gut biome adjusting to the type of food that it wants. You might have some adverse effects, but I think you could do it, man. You're strong. Lean on me. Reach out to me directly if you need to. You can make the appropriate changes. A whole food diet is a piece of cake once you get into the groove, and it's enjoyable. It's a very wonderful, broad-stroked lifestyle with over 80,000 edible fruits, plants, nuts, and seeds, and legumes and beans. There's so much we could do. If you're not a member of my group, well, if you're watching this, you are. So check out my recipes. Tweak them to your flavor profile that you like the best. Combine your grains, which is awesome. Don't just make rice, add quinoa. Just don't make brown. Add wild rice to it, and then put some quinoa in there and mix up the grains. Add herbs and spices to the grains as they're cooking. Diversify the flavor profiles, and I think you could adapt to it very, very well. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Unless anybody has any other questions, I will end the video on a positive note. Everybody stay positive. Eat your greens, eat your beans, eat your legumes. Super group hugs. Let's see. Alexandra. Stomach bypass. I've dealt with this a lot. Lost 100 pounds. She will only eat a quarter cup of food per meal. Kind of easy way out. Still like steak. Well, Alexandra, I've known many people with gastric bypass surgeries, the lap band, and I would say 95% of people can eat through it. Gastric bypass surgery is radical, but your stomach will expand. If she keeps doing what she did, she'll get what she had. You could eat through it. She'll be sick in the beginning stages. For the first several months, 6 months, 12 months out, she might suffer from nausea and some sickness. But her stomach will readjust and she will become obese and overweight again. And you can't have bypass surgery twice. So, eating habits is more important than getting, radical surgeries. And unfortunately, during the beginning stages of gastric bypass surgery, she's going to be at a nutritional deficit where she can't consume enough nutrients. She's going to suffer from flaky nails, bad skin. Her hair is going to be more greasy than it normally is. She might suffer from hair loss, lethargy, low metabolism levels, and I deal with this an awful lot, and it's sad to me because people get this as a quick fix and then they eat through it. The lap band surgery also, putting the the lap band over, you could eat through that too. And then it needs to be readjusted over and over again. And, these invasive surgeries and laparoscopic procedures will expose us to MRSA, and it degrades our immune systems. It's a really bad thing, and I feel bad for those people. So without the proper mentality and the proper dietary alterations, anybody that has these gastric surgeries will eat through it, because their need for flavor exceeds their need to be healthy. And it makes me sad, and I don't know how to handle that properly, because those people are very hypersensitive to their weight to begin with, and they're not going to be open to change. So they're going to be resilient to us trying to give them encouragement. They're just not going to listen. And it kind of sucky. It sucks. So I'm very sorry for your friend. Hopefully she'll come around. Yes, Alexandra, it is time for oatmeal morning. Time to continue our plant-based journey. So everybody, eat your plants, eat your greens, eat your beans, eat your legumes, eat your oatmeal, eat your fruit. 1 to 2 cups per day. I will do another video very soon. Comment below. I will answer them as I can throughout the course of the day. Group hugs. Wishing everybody a great day. Chef Jeff, over and out. Love you all unconditionally.